Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. John Kelly, Profiler here, and welcome. Welcome to our show today, which is about the Long Island serial killer. And we're calling it Woman Hater because the Long Island serial killer definitely hates women. And we want to try to bring our show today and something we've gleaned that's pretty important and try to tie it to the latest evidence that law enforcement has put out there, which is a belt. And on the belt, there are two kinds of letters. There's WH or HM, depending on how you're looking at the belt. Of course, WH just jogged my memory and kind of made me analyze it a little bit, and I came up with Woman Hater. I don't think that's what WH stands for on there. Could be, but I don't think so. I think those are his initials. And I think if we can connect those initials to some of the behavior we're going to talk about now, we got a good chance of catching this guy and getting him off the street. If he's not already in jail, he could be already in prison, okay? The reason I say Woman Hater is because I want to go back to Melissa and Amanda Bartholomew. I want to go back to the different calls that Amanda Bartholomew got. She got calls from the Long Island serial killer saying that he was watching her sister Melissa's body rot and that she was a whore. And that is definitely somebody who went out of his way to express his hatred for women and to taunt a poor young girl, the younger sister of Melissa. So this guy really got it in from women. Also, the behavior I want to try and connect to this belt is this guy's obsession, this killer's obsession with sex workers. And I want to show you the ritual that this is, how this goes and how this goes with other serial killers that have focused on sex workers as their victims. Let's take a look at Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer. He was always around sex workers, killed approximately 50 women, 50 sex workers. He was always around them. He was watching them. He was driving by them. He was talking to them. He was preaching to them. He just wanted to be around them. You see, these serial killers definitely are obsessed and hang around, or if you'd like, habituate. That's a word my partner and friend Frank Adamson uses a lot with serial killers. These guys do this. Let's take a look at Joel Rifkin. He was always around sex workers. He was focused on sex workers. I think when he got arrested, he got a sex worker, a dead sex worker in the back of his truck, if I have it correctly. But I know he was obsessed with them, and I know he habituated and hung around them. Let's take a look at Mr. Picton from up in Vancouver, Canada, the pig farmer who killed anywhere between 6 and 60 women on his pig farm, supposedly. Supposedly, he had parties there all the time. He always had the girls there. He was totally obsessed with sex workers. And he killed them and fed them to his pigs to dispose of their bodies. Pretty much, I believe the Long Island serial killer is no different. And I believe in the beginning, he hung around sex workers. I'm going before it was so easy to procure an escort on the internet. In the earlier days, he was on the streets. He would have been obsessed with them on the streets. He would have looked at them, driven by them, talked to them, just like these other guys. And we could even give you more examples if we had time, but they're all pretty much the same. That obsession is always there, not only with killing and having power and control, but just being around them and being obsessed with talking to them and looking at them. So when we get back to looking at the Long Island serial killer, he had to do this before the internet. And I believe as the internet came into play, and it was a lot easier for him to look at what he wanted to look at, call who he wanted to call, talk to who he wanted to talk to, while still keeping an eye on them, keeping an eye on their picture, on the internet. And it was easier for him to hide, easier for him to set up dates, and easier for him to be more concealed until he got his victim into his control zone. But the obsession was always there. And I think it started on the street before it moved to the internet. So if we can connect a person who's completely obsessed with sex workers, and somebody out there would know this, somebody out there knows them, whether he's still on the street or he's in prison, or even if he's dead. If we can connect this obsessive behavior with this belt, with the letters on it, WH or HM, got a good shot at catching them, and you'll catch them. Please send in that tip. Please call that tip in. The tip line will be at the end of this show. With that being said, I want you to know that we're starting a new channel to deal with the biggest mass murderer that's out there today. And the biggest mass murderer that's out there today is addictive illness and mental health issues. Okay? We've got an addictive illness crisis, a major crisis with addiction, and we have a mental health illness, a mental health primary problem going on in this country. Okay? Mental health issues are behind a lot of the murders we see taking place. What we have to do is we have to put these together, so we're going to start a new channel that's going to be focused on addictive illness and mental health issues. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Please continue to comment. Please continue to subscribe. We always value your comments. We really value your subscriptions as well. We know we just want to put information out there that's valuable, and hopefully you're finding that. Based on the subscriptions we're getting, it seems like you find us pretty interesting. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day and stay safe, folks.